Hey everyone, welcome to our brand new podcast. It's called the SHE.E.O. This has been an exciting dream that's coming true. It's something that I wanted, like a safe space for women who are making it happen, who are self-made, women who juggle crazy business life and daily struggles with family and partners and relationships and just the overall huge load that we have on ourselves without even having a business and now having our own business and kind of like a place where we can talk and share being authentic, being honest, a place where, like we're not pretending like everything is perfect and we have it all figured out, a place where we really can be raw, a place where we can kind of show that we're still figuring things out. And I'm here with my two amazing co-hosts, Inbal and Apple. And I want you guys to get to know them. And let's start this fun.
Very excited.
So happy to be here.
Me
so
too.
happy to be here.
Me too.
So this has been something that I've been doing for a long time. This is an amazing platform, that we can actually empower other women, and we can talk about it all. And we have all our different insights. I come from branding and marketing, and I help a lot of businesses in that aspect. And you guys can share and tell us what your backgrounds are. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
So my name is Apple Levy. I am the principal strategist and founder of Obsidian Thorn. We help businesses scale through operational effectiveness, financial clarity, market placement, and we do all that by using the framework from my book, The Apple Effect.
No, you do it all.
Basically, you do it all. Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm very excited about everything that I get to share. My name is Inbal Danon. I own two different businesses. One is called Fishbowl, which is a youth entrepreneurship program where we empower kids to find their purpose and their superpower as early as TK, all the way to 12th grade. And my other business is I am a developer and general contractor, and I own a boutique construction company called the Oak Development.
That is powerful.
It is.
You don't hear every day of a woman who's a GC.
You don't, and that's actually the reason why I did it. So
you do, when people say you can't,
do it.
You do it. Yeah. It makes you want to do it even more. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Nothing like, showing everybody, that you can do it.
Right. And do it amazing.
We want to talk about this morning. I have to talk about this morning. I started this day not so good. My daughter had a meltdown. I've been seeing a little bit of shifting in the way she's behaving lately. Like she's just more down. She gets more angry. And this morning it was like, instead of getting ready for today, like 40 minutes of her, trying to like hold it together and be strong. And I can see that like she's having a little bit of a hard time with me, trying to working lately a little bit more than usual. Starting with so many. It's it's a new year. Usually during the new year, like things kind of pick off a little bit more and get a little bit more busy. And I was just wondering, I was trying to like hold it strong for her. I was trying to be like, you're okay. You're going to school. You're gonna have fun with your friends. I'm gonna come pick you up, and then try to show her that I'm still here. I'm just because I'm busy doesn't mean I'm unavailable. I'm like I'm there for her. It's just not 24/7 and not whenever she wants. And she has to understand that sometimes I can't do this right now because I have to get ready for something or I have to be on a call. And, but inside I'm dying. I'm dying inside. Like, I feel like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like I'm ruining my kids. I'm trying to work hard for my kids, show them, hard work and, being fulfilled and going after your dreams. And but at the same time, even though I'm doing it for them, I feel like maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm actually doing the opposite. So I was just wondering if you guys like have any like input on, what do you tell your kids, when they say, "Oh, mommy, you're working too hard," or "You're not here enough for me," or "You're going to work again," or "You're in computer again." Like, what's your reactions to that?
I mean, I had this reaction this weekend. with one of my kids, and I feel like I have it pretty often, and I do beat myself up about it pretty constantly, because before I had my businesses, I was there all the time, whether it's, in class or after school and enrichments and all of that. And I still try to be there, but I can't do it as much anymore because, we're busy and we're trying to do stuff not just for ourselves, but also for them. So I've experienced it. I think that work hard, play hard is a big thing that we should be teaching them. And there's time for work and there's time for play. And then there's also time where we have to play a little bit harder, but there's also time where we have to work a little bit harder. And just like you were saying, beginning of the year, there's new things that are happening. There's new, projects that you're bringing on board. It's a learn in progress. And I think that eventually, when they get older, I mean, I have kids from 4 to almost 15. You see the shifts as they get a little bit older, where the little one maybe not seeing it as often, not noticing it because she doesn't actually vocalize maybe what's bothering her if she needs me at a certain time. And I try to be there as much as possible. But the younger one, the middle one, was there when I didn't have my businesses, and so saw that shift and used to me being there at his beck and call, anything that he needs from me, and now sees that I'm a lot busier. But my oldest understands that if you want something, you actually have to work for it. And he also understands that because of Fishbowl, you have to follow your passions, and he kind of gets it a little bit more. I'm not going to say that he doesn't get frustrated with me sometimes where he's like, I want to do something. I'm like, cool, that costs money. We need to get to this, you want this certain life, and we will get to what you want to do, but at this very moment, I have to do whatever it is. So it's a lot of a balance, and I think I beat myself up about it a lot, but
So on my end, I think it's more the fast forward now to when your kid is an adult. She's 21, she's in college, in Arizona, but I was a workaholic as well, but I was always there for the games and, all the events and things like that. But there did come a point where I was like, okay, I have to work now and not be there all the time. But communication, I think, is key. Another mom was actually talking to me about this. What she would travel a lot, and what she would do is, okay, guys, I'm going to be traveling, this week, but when I get back, this is the family thing that we're going to do. We're going to go all do this at a park and have a picnic and all this stuff. But in the meantime, I need you guys to make sure your rooms are clean and your homework is done. Can you keep yourselves, each other accountable, while I do that? And then when we come back, it's going to be, I'm yours 100%, right? That it's not a perfect world. You're not always going to have a balance. But I think the guilt that I was feeling, this guilt, when I was working hard during their young age, but I knew that I owed it to her to also see what you need to do, the things that you have to work through to succeed. Right. And my daughter now at 21 appreciates that wholeheartedly.
What do you mean when you say she appreciates it? She doesn't say, did she say like, Mom, thank you for teaching me that? Because do you see her working hard as well? Yeah. Or is she more like, oh, you should have worked hard?
She is a beast. She is like president and vice president of 4 different clubs at school. She's getting great grades. She's also working. She started her own business. She is like a beast. And my husband and I both had to be examples for her to say, you're capable of doing this. Don't tell me you don't have enough time. You do. You have all the time to be great. And we talk 8 times a day.
Wow.
Very, very close to me. She's very, very close to her dad. So if she's not calling me, she's calling dad. If somebody doesn't pick up, she calls the other. So she's very, very close to us because she's always like, okay, Mom, this is what I'm doing. What are your thoughts? And we've become really close to that because she saw from early on that both my husband and I are very business-minded. We work really hard for our businesses. At that time, she didn't understand, why. But the great thing about being entrepreneurs is that you can bring your kiddos.
Yes.
To, as being part of it, and they can experience it. I see your kiddos here.
Yeah, my kids, awesome. I bring them here. I give them some chores to, kind of feel like part of it. Yes. And I always, I said to my daughter yesterday, she's been like that for a week. And I said to her, you know, I know that I'm not around. I know that I'm working very hard, but you have to understand, and maybe you're gonna understand when you're older. I'm really doing this for you. I want to show you, you know, because nowadays, I mean, you got off easy. We're raising children with AI and ChatGPT, and like everything is so, you know, like they get the solution within a click of a button, you know. And I'm telling her, like, I really want you to be proud of me. I really want to show you what hard work is like. And she said to me, well, I was proud of you even before. And I was like, oh my God, I almost cried. And I'm like,
They're good
you know,
at pulling those heartstrings.
They know. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So I told her, like, you know, I'm very happy that you're proud of yourself, of me, but I want to be proud of myself too. You know, I kind of postponed a lot of, you know, things that I've studied before and who I was in my career when the kids came along, and I want to be proud of myself. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to, you know, I want to do something. It's hard feeling satisfied, you know, when you're older, and you know, life is dynamic. I think we as women, like, we changed the most, you know, throughout our lifetime. You know, like when we're single and we're trying to figure out what we want, and then when we get somewhere, then the kids come along and the marriage comes along, and it's been expected that you kind of uphold the house, you know, like whatever you do sets a tone to how your household is going to look like. Are you going to have people over for dinner? Are you going to have people over at all? You know, do you usually go out? Do you usually eat out? Do you usually, you know, like, so it's up to us to set the tone in the house. And it's a lot of pressure while trying to figure out, you know, what you want to do, and, you know, trying to juggle, you know, motherhood.
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing. So teaching our kids, you know, hard work, I think it's not a bad thing.
No, I think it's great. Why I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean, the reason I even added more to my plate is it was like a passion project for me. It's something that I was in a networking group, and someone asked, if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you do? And I said I would do something to advocate for kids. And I wasn't sure what it was. But that, like, one icebreaker question that was given to like the whole networking group was really like a trigger for me, because I've always kind of been a helicopter parent. Even if I'm not fully there all the time, I want to make sure that my kids are doing good, that they're doing good for themselves. I don't need straight A's, but just satisfied with who they are as a person, and finding their superpower. And so that's kind of how, you know, Fishbowl came along, and I really strongly believe in it. I think that, you know, it's okay. School will give you a lot of things that you need for life, if it's social, if it's basic math, English, whatever, but it doesn't help you find your superpower. And that's a big problem. Like, we cannot
Be unique. Be you.
be you. Who are you?
What do you like?
What do you like? And it's not just like, okay, you know, I teach at a school and half of the boys are like, I like soccer. There's so much more than just that. You're not all going to be messy.
Right.
But if you are going to be messy, what else? How is he successful? He's not just successful from soccer. He's successful from endorsement deals. He has a clothing line, and he has different things that he does to grow himself, which goes back to branding, you know, a person. And so I think that entrepreneurship for kids is really the easiest way to teach kids that they can find their superpower. It's not so much about, you know, at the end of the day, I'll build a business and I'll make a couple of bucks. It's more about, I'm doing something that I believe in. I worked hard to get to this level. I created something by myself or with, you know, a friend or whatever. And now I'm selling it. And now people are actually supporting something that I love. And it's not just like cheering me on at a soccer game.
Yeah.
It's, I have a clothing line, and I have a hat line, and I designed something by myself, and I worked really hard.
And it's just him. It's just him. It's not, you know, when you're in soccer, you're part of a group. It's just him. Something that he had an idea.
And he grew with it. And a lot of the kids, you know, they start with something small, like a bracelet line or slime or whatever. And then they're like, oh, wow, I just made $100 selling, you know, bracelets that took me a couple of hours to do. I'm now going to take it to another level. I have a student that was in high school that was kind of forced into my program because his parents weren't sure what he was going to do. He was no direction of college or anything like that. He did like fidgets, and then all of a sudden now he's taking over. He's doing construction, and he knows the thing is that it prepares him. It prepares him for like, I was able to sell fidgets and make hundreds of dollars doing fidgets.
Think creative, think creative, open your world and what you're exposed to,
Yeah.
like you said, not just soccer, not just dance, like there's so much more, and explore who you are. I feel like there's so much expected when you're 18, when you turn 18, like, start your life, go to college, pick what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Right.
And all those years you don't even know who you are. You haven't discovered that yet.
Right.
And it's a big decision.
And they're kids. They're still kids.
Yeah.
At 18, they're still kids, especially if they haven't had this kind of, whether it's Fishbowl or any other program, that like experience. A lot of the time they're just not. They're like, okay, you're done with high school. No, that's not how it should be.
There's no exposure for business.
Not at all, and that's a big problem.
It's huge.
Yeah.
To your point that you had just mentioned, one of the kids sold fidgets. So
I don't even know what fidgets are.
Something that they need now. Everyone has
Oh, then like the little wheels, the spinners. Oh,
something
get,
else.
get yourself entertained. So my kid had exposure for business from both sides, from growing up and just seeing us constantly working. Doesn't matter if it's a weekend, we're taking calls. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
At 15, she was making bracelets. And then she had this idea of like, what if I create bracelets, but then have it also come with a letter from your favorite character, just like admitting their love for you or something like. So she did that, and it blew up on TikTok. And in the first month, she made $8,000
Wow.
from TikTok, and
Wow.
and she's writing these letters herself. This is before AI, so she's like writing these letters as orders would come in saying, I want to get a letter from Harry Potter, or I want to get a letter from like any character. And she would literally write those letters, from her heart, because she's a girl, very emotional and, and can talk love all day long. And then she started hiring people to write for her because she couldn't keep up with the demand of the thing. So she made $25,000 from that small little business that she's doing in her room and sold it.
wow, that's amazing.
I mean, she was 15.
Wow.
And another thing, kind of going into what we were talking about before, is when they learn and they get it. So they don't get it right away. Sometimes it takes some time. But when they learn to follow your passions, then they start to understand a little bit that mom has to follow her passions too, and this is why I'm doing it. And you know what? Play hard, work hard. We're doing this so that over the summer we take this huge family trip together. Because otherwise that wouldn't happen. And like no disrespect to moms that are stay-at-home moms. I was like that for a while, and I get it. My mom was, and she was incredible. We had an amazing childhood. But I see my mom now as like an artist, and she's a gallery artist, and she showcases her art in like beautiful places. And it's like, I'm so happy that she's doing that. But I think now this generation is a lot more different, and I think it's okay to just do that. Just find a balance. It's not always going to be perfect.
Same here. I grew up with a mom that never worked. She was a stay-at-home mom with 3 children. And, I moved out when I was 16, actually. And my brothers moved out when they were 18. And she started, she had that fear of, okay, what do I do now? And she was in a comfortable place with, my dad being the provider. So she just had fun. And then, life happened and things changed and she had to start working. And, at 60, it's very hard to trying to find your passion because you haven't done that all your life. Most of her life, she hasn't done that. And she doesn't know what she wants anymore. She doesn't know who she is anymore. I feel like following your passion is really getting to know the new you, like the new you means like the you used to be before kids, with a little bit of now adding kids and a family into the mix. And I mean, I feel like now we're like a different version of ourselves. Like every stage of life, we're a different version. And following your dreams, like I always said that, to, people around me, I maybe, because I was also a stay-at-home mom for a couple of years, and I just felt it was like the same day over and over and over. It's like
Groundhog
the Truman.
Day.
Yeah, you say ground. For me, it was like the Truman Show. It's like every day the same thing, the same breakfast. The same walk to school. The just being all around the household. Like things like planning birthday parties, and it was. I was tired, but I wasn't physically tired. I was just tired mentally. I had nothing to show for it. Okay, so a year went by, 3 years went by, 7 years went by. I'm like, I have nothing to show it for it, and I was so successful before I had my kids. I worked for a really big company, as an art director, and all of a sudden, like, who was I? Like I didn't feel anything. I didn't want to wake up. Every day, like waking up was like a task, because I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was how the day was gonna go by. So following a passion, it was hard at first, because you always have the excuse of like, but I don't have time. I mean, even now as a mom, I don't have time, so how I'm gonna make it. But when you want something, you really, really want it, something that you're good at, and it's kind of like my husband always says, with the cravings comes the hunger, or how does that go? You know what I mean? Like how like when you start tasting some things that you've done, you're like, oh, they get hungry again.
Yeah.
So I started, working, and word of mouth, and then it kind of got my passion back. And I feel like, and what really set the tone is like a couple years ago, I went through a personal tragedy, tragedy, and I couldn't let myself fall because as a mom, you can't get into bed and be like, oh, I'm going to be depressed for a month and not get out. No, you have to get up and start showing them that everything is okay. You continue with life. Life is hard, but you continue. And I think that I found my passion the most when I was at my lowest. And that gave me a huge, huge drive. Yeah. Because I had to overcome so much hardness that I had to work extra, extra, extra hard to kind of overcome that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I started,
I think it's important. You had mentioned, finding your passion, right? I stayed at home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years as well, and then I was starting to ask the same question, like, what's next? There's got to be more. There's got to be more. Lucky for me, I have a wonderful husband who is my number one cheerleader. He says, go do what you love to do, because I had to find myself. And like, who am I? You do you, and then what am I going to do? But it's so important for women to find that, because when life happens, things pivot. All of a sudden, you got to go out there in the world, and you're like, I'm not equipped. I don't have the tools.
Right.
I've been home for, my kid's 18. Like, I don't know what to do next.
Right.
And that is every woman's responsibility to say, what else?
But you had a key factor, which is a supportive husband. Not a lot of women, unfortunately, have that. When you have a partner that supports you,
Absolutely,
and says, go, you can do it, it doesn't let you feel more guilty than you already do, him staying with a daughter at home and having to pick her up and take her to... Because I know, and I'm sure you guys have the same situation. I mean, as you get busier, as you start fulfilling yourself, as you get bigger, your conversation changes with your husband, your conversation changes with your friends, and not everyone is at the same stage of life, some, so, people come and go. And I think that was another hard part, of kind of being okay with people kind of drifting away from you. Do you guys have any...
Growing the room.
Yeah.
And finding something. I it's unfortunate, but I never believed in having the necessity to have a ton of friends. I always felt like it was good to just have the few that actually loved you and you love them back for who you are. And it's okay if you don't see them for a couple of months.
For you, it was okay. But the question is, if it was for them okay. They don't give you like guilt trips like, why don't you come us to coffee anymore? Why are you always busy? You're working too hard.
My life anymore. And it's unfortunate. You just have to figure out what makes sense for you, because things are shifting, right? Like we're in a really weird time now where yes, more women are working, but not every woman is working. A lot of women are still stay-at-home moms, and they just don't get like, okay, your kids are at school, let's go grab lunch, let's go grab coffee, let's go out to dinner. It's like, no, I have deadlines. They are due tomorrow. I can't go out to dinner again. Like, so I feel like it's also just really understanding how to shift and pivot even your life. So like you do that with business, and you do that also with your children, and kind of, teach them, but it's also your friendships. And I've had friends since I was in elementary school that are still with me, and I talk to them once in a while, and we're still really close, and we still absolutely love each other, and they get it. And then there's some that don't. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're just business owners, because some of them aren't. Some of them are stay-at-home moms, but they...
But do you feel like you have the same lingo as them? You can still talk to them about, what you're going through, and they understand?
The ones that I'm still friends with, yes. The ones that are more acquaintances, less, but it's okay. I feel like the conversation can shift depending on who you talk to. Like you can be in a room with certain people and they don't really care about your business or what you did, and that's fine. You don't have to talk about it. You can talk about...
But our businesses, when you work for somebody, when you work for a company, it's not yours. It's, you work, which is incredible. I think either way, it's amazing. But when it's your business, it's your baby. It's who you are. It's your identity. And when you're with a room of people, like, you want to talk about it because it's part of who you are. So I feel like when I'm in a room of friends, and again, I'm a little bit different than you. I do always had a lot of friends, from different places in life. But I feel like I have to shrink my conversation. I have to shrink my thoughts and shrink who I really am, because to kind of match the conversation of other people.
It's preference. For me, it's more, I prefer to be with people that get who I am. And if I love that person and they don't really get who I am, then we just don't talk about that, which I get it. Like some people, I have friends that are still single and don't have kids, and they don't really want to hear about my kids all day. And that's okay. So I feel like it's the same thing with business. Like if they're not really working and they don't want to hear that I'm doing this and this and this, and this is like, I'm struggling here and I'm trying to figure out what my next steps are and who I'm partner, whatever, what my collaborations, they don't get it. So they don't want to hear about it. So you feel the room. And I feel like that goes with everything, even in business, even if you're a meeting with a client and, you have to connect with the client to be able to wheel them in. You read the room. Like, are they more dog people? Are they more cat people? Am I going to go and are they obsessed with dogs? And I'm going to go over there and then tell them, okay, well, this area should be designed this way because it'll really satisfy what you need for your dog.
But those are clients. You have to kind of match yourself to them. But when it comes to friends, it's supposed to be the unmasked you. You're real you.
So I totally hear where you're coming from. Difference between business and friends, right? Because I've had a lot of friends that have become family because as growing up, you're raising your kids at the same time, but then you pivot and you change directions. But the minute my friends start telling me I'm working too hard,
oh, I hate that sentence.
Are telling me, don't break your back, it's not all about money. When my friends are telling me it's not that serious, we're not going to be at dinner anymore.
I know you said that to me. You said that to me a while back, and listen, it's a learning curve, right? Yeah. Because you don't want to be alone. You don't want to find yourself alone. And having a friend is different than a partner and a relationship with
guess what? I found new friends.
Right.
I found new friends who want to talk business, who are passionate about what I do. And
so you don't have to over-explain, you working night or you being late to something or not being able to come to a Sunday Valentine's Day party because you're too tired. You don't have to explain it.
I have no guilt whatsoever because for me, it is my obligation to do what I do, to help people, to show my family how I can help people, to help my clients, to continually talk about the business so that, because I know for a fact I can service you. I can get you to your freaking target. And I believe that so much that is my obligation. It's my duty. And if you are trying to turn me and derail me from my duty, you are not my friend.
Yeah.
You're supposed to
be
my goal.
Okay, so let's say you had a friend. Do you explain to her, listen, we're just not there? You just ghost her? You just ghost?
Well, what happens is when you talk too much about it, it creates more conflict. I mean, it's not that I ghost her. Like, they'll message me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, great. I'll see you at the next holiday, But definitely it gets tapered down. It's not.
It's like a natural. I feel like for me, it was just a natural,
Exactly.
It's not just me feeling like that. Like they might be feeling like that too, like, oh, she's only talking about business. And so it's kind of just like the relationship changes. Like if it's a friend that I had since high school and we used to party, and they're still kind of in that mindset of like, I still want to party at least a couple of times a month, and I'm like, I don't party. That is not my thing. I go to dinners.
Your standards
We'll go,
change.
you know, and I go out with my husband. Like that's my thing. I'll do like a girls' night. It's not just me saying it. As much as it feels like it's just me, it's not just me. They're also kind of feeling it. And if they don't, then it's okay. Like I was saying, you can have different conversations with different people.
I understand that. Just sometimes I feel like I don't get the closure for that relationship if I don't say, because I'm a Cancer. Everything that's inside has to come out. Otherwise, I feel dirty. I have to say everything, you know. Like I have to say, so where do we stand? You know, like let's evaluate this relationship. And I feel like if I just ghost somebody, then I feel like I'm leaving them the impression, oh, she was too good. Oh, she grew too much. Oh, she doesn't.
With success, you're going to have haters. If you don't have haters, that means you're not fighting it hard enough or you're not working hard enough. So I expect to have people that don't agree with my opinion. And over-explaining, I used to think that way, like I need closure. I've decided that I don't need it.
Yeah, I never
I'm just
got
going to
that.
go because it takes so much energy
Right.
to do that. And literally, like you, I have deadlines.
Yeah.
I have deadlines.
Yeah.
I can't ruminate on, you know, disclosure and what you are going to think of me, or there's people that need me. You know, I need to be an example to my kid. I need to show her that you got to put the emotion aside.
Right.
You know, you have a target. You have a vision that you need to reach. Your passion. Why are you here?
Right.
I got to get there.
Right.
You know?
I agree. And for me, it's the opposite because I'm a Scorpio. So for me, it's if I cross that boundary and I feel the need to go and explain myself to someone, I've grown to realize that that's almost never good for me. Never. Like if it's already that you feel it in the air, that it's just not there, maybe it'll be good in 2 years when things maybe come down a little bit. Maybe my business is a little bit more settled. Maybe I kind of have more of a flow to things and I have time. But a lot of the time now, time is so like just non-existent. I feel like you're so consumed with what.
So you don't have time for bullshit. You don't.
More if they're not working, let's say, and they have time to continue this back and forth, it's not like a hard stop.
No.
Like I don't feel this way, I think that we should take a break or whatever. Now it's like it becomes more, I prefer to just be like, okay, we're gonna slowly just
aligned.
You know, and then if I miss you in a year, I'm gonna call you and just say like, let's meet up for lunch. That's how I seen it, and it was never like that because of my passion that I have in me. It's always like, ew, why is she like this? I'm going to tell her A, B, da, 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 and then it becomes heated and it doesn't benefit anyone. So for me, that was always kind of my experience. But for now, also like, if I have the time, it's my husband and it's my children first.
Yeah.
If I haven't seen my friends for a month, it's first. If I can intertwine everyone together, cool. And if I did some stuff and now I have some stuff to also hang out with, like, then I will make all of that happen. But
You don't have like a fear of missing out?
no, I don't have FOMO at all because I do.
Or birthday parties. It's your birthday party. Who do you invite? Your business your coworkers?
No, I still have friends. I still have friends that
yeah, it's for me. I'm still, as you can see, it's new for me. Yeah. You know, it's new for me. I'm also like a people person. Like I always have to have people around me. Like I no, like on vacations, I'm like,
I have people around me, so you and I are aligned.
no, I need to have people around me. Like I when I go on vacations, I need the more the merrier. You know, holidays, the more the merrier. If I have less than 40, I'm like, why am I alone? 40 people, and I feel alone. So, yeah, because my family, I grew up in a family where like everybody went like their own way. We weren't very united. We didn't have the holidays. You know, my parents are very free spirited, so they didn't hold us together as a family. So my friends throughout all my life became my family, became like a big thing, you know, like they hold so dear to my heart. I think this is another reason why this is a big issue for me. I feel like your friends, they're like your family, are the ones who are supposed to be your first supporters, your first, you know, the fans, the one who are like, go, you got it. And I'm actually getting the opposite. I'm getting the opposite of like, I feel like the people that I wouldn't expect their support, I'm actually getting it. And like the people who are closest to me are just kind of drifting away and, not understanding what I'm going through.